Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be filming a Mark 4 Supra. I believe it's the turbo one, but I don't know for sure. Hopefully it is, because I've been looking to film a Mark 4 Supra with the 2JZ for so long, and I'm hoping it's going to be this one. But right now I'm headed to a meet. I'm not going to film it because honestly, I used to post meet content and it wouldn't do that well. I don't know if it's something that's not that interesting or anything, but if you'd like to see like meets that I go to and just more behind the scenes, make sure to follow me on Instagram. It's always in the video description and then also the comments down below that I pinned. So yeah. So why don't you introduce yourself and your car to the viewers?
Hey, I'm Tan at Cars and Tan, and this is my 1994 Toyota Supra twin turbo.
Why don't you talk about why you chose the Supra and just your purchase story with it?
Well, I've always been a big Toyota fan, and I know that the Toyota Supra, the MK4 specifically, has always been the pinnacle of Toyota's performance and everything. Up to today, you know, everybody knows what a MK4 is. The reason why I chose this vehicle, this specific one, was because the color was horrendous. All right? It was so green, it was so ugly, and then I was like, man, I keep going back to it. I noticed for a week straight I kept coming back to this post online, and then I told myself, you know what, if I keep coming back to it, then that means I must like it or something. So yeah, that's the reason why I chose it. This car is actually an Australian market car. Most people think it's since it's a right-hand drive, it's Japanese, but no, it came from Australia. A friend told me that, looking at the VIN number and the plates and everything, that it was Australian. I didn't believe him until I started taking all the panels apart and I found this Australian coin inside the door dash. So that's what proved what it was. So just to go back to a little bit about the color, it was too much green for me, and I knew that I wanted to break it up. I wanted to put more contrast, different colors and, you know, accents to it. That's why I chose to do a lot more carbon fiber on there. So after I did that, I went with the TRD hood, and then I went with the Greddy lip on here, and then of course the carbon fiber TRD GT wing that's on here. So far I think I did a really good job. I did get a lot of compliments from it. When I first got it, a lot of people said it was a little too much green, and I agreed with them. Now that it looks like this, I have been getting a lot of compliments.
So let's do a quick walk around and just a quick build breakdown of the Supra so far.
Let's start off with the wheels, right? These are the work equipped 05s. A lot of people love these. The day that I put them on, I got a lot of compliments saying that this is such a period correct wheel to go with the car. And the reason why I chose it was because it's three-piece. The three-piece is what set it apart, right? The three-piece didn't actually fit on this car. What I did was I had to go through threepiecewheels.com and then measure things out and order all the pieces and everything. So I actually built these wheels myself. And if you go look at the side of the car, you can see how flush it is, and I think it came out pretty well. So but I do want to make it a little bit wider on the back so I can put meatier tires and stuff, but overall it came out pretty good. If you look at this right here, the glass, this is actual real glass headlights. Only the European market has these headlights. So if you look at the Japanese and the US, they're all Series 2 is all black housing. So I'm not too much of a fan of the dark one, so that's why I went with that. It matches the wheels a lot better. This car is relatively stock. It has its twin turbos and everything, but it has an intake and exhaust to go with it. I do have plans to make it go single turbo, but you know, due to time, cost, different projects, you know, and everything. So this is going to be set to the back burner just for a little bit. I got another car ahead of it that I need to build up first, and then I'll give it more attention.
If you don't mind, can you kind of talk about the one that's ahead of this, the one that you're building?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you could give a little details.
I'm really excited about that one. Yeah. Okay, so I have, so right now the current project is the R34, and that's the one that's, it needs attention and everything. After that one, it's gonna be my 1977 Celica GT. Not many people know about it, but when you see it for the first time, it looks like a Japanese muscle car, and most people mistake it for a Mustang or a Camaro and everything. So it's a little fun car. I'm looking to go the Beams motor that's on it. It's a 3S GE, and it has a turbo on it, so it's 300 horsepower. and it just fits right in so perfectly. But that's going to be in the works and stuff, and then after that, then I'll give the attention back to this one. This thing is so reliable that I kind of don't want to do any modifications to it, because all I have to do is put in the key, turn the ignition, and then it just goes, you know. So I did put on some Teen Flex coilovers on here, and I also have a 1.5 way LSD for the rear differential. I kind of regret doing that. The reason why is because it grips on so much, and when you're doing slow turns, it locks itself, right? And then it makes a lot of noise and stuff. And so it's a lot of discomfort. My power level doesn't match the discomfort just yet. So I mean, you got to build your car, overbuild your car for the number that you want, so you don't have these problems, right? So that's the reason why I did this stuff. I wanted to make sure I have all these supporting modifications before I go with bigger numbers and stuff.
Not many people have a right-hand drive car, so why don't you talk about, you know, the experience driving a right hand in the States?
Okay, so a little bit about the background for the right-hand drive stuff, right? I'm active duty military.
Okay.
I was stationed in Japan for 3 years. Driving on the right-hand side for the first time out there was it was nerve-wracking, but I learned how to do it, you know. But now coming to the stateside, it's pretty easy. So I'm used to it. A lot of the things that people don't know about, or they think it's hard for driving right-hand, was the shifting gears using your other hand. But in actuality, any person that does drive a manual transmission car, hop into it, you're thinking about it just for the first couple minutes, but then it comes natural to you because you already know where to shift. So your pedals are exact same spots, you know, clutch on the left, brake on the middle, and then acceleration on the right. And the same thing, right? On the shifter, it's the same exact spot. So yeah, it's not as hard as you think it is. All right, so if we want to talk about the interior, I'll give you a heads up about that. So right here, I wanted to make sure the accents match, right? So I made sure to get that green stitch right here and right there and everything, so that it can look a little bit better. I wanted to look a little more modern inside. So the dash, the MK4 Supras have this problem where once it gets past 20 years old, as soon as you touch the surface of this, it scratches off real easy. So I wanted to make it gloss so that it looks a little more modern and stuff.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yep. And if you look at the seats right here, I made sure to get the green stitching to go with it, so that people can see it from the outside and everything, so that they can see you know, all the accents and everything. So hopefully you guys like it. I mean, give me a heads up if you think it needs to change. All right?
Comment below if you like, you know, what he's done to the interior, because he has upgraded, kept it, you know, mostly OEM, but it's looking good.
All right, check this out. A lot of you guys don't know about the Japanese and the Australian market and stuff. They don't have the restriction where you have to step on the clutch to turn on the car. So look, check this out. I'm not even in the seat, right, to step on the clutch.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty cool, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that feature.
What kind of advice would you give people who are potentially in the market to get a Mark IV Supra?
All right, so one thing that I forgot to mention, right? I did buy this car. It was back in 2020. Prices were a little bit cheaper at the time and everything. I specifically chose a non-turbo Supra, right?
Okay.
As you can tell, if you look inside the engine bay, right? Now it has a twin turbo inside of it. And my suggestion, if you're gonna do the same thing, you should get a Supra that's non-turbo that already has a manual transmission. All right, if you don't, the transmission tunnel is more narrow for the automatic ones, so you're gonna have to go to Toyota, order that part, take out all the welds, and then re-weld the new one onto there so you can actually fit the manual transmission on there. So it's a wise choice to do, right? If you're gonna get a non-turbo, and then as soon as you put the turbo motor into it, the value of the car jumps up like $10,000 to $15,000, right? Even though the swap might cost you about, say, $8,000. So if you want to save money, or you want to bring up the value of your Supra, do the swap, all right? Most people are more into the non-VVTi motor, because it's traditionally what the US market, that's all they received. And then most of the tuners, they're used to that. If you were to get to the Aristo twin turbo with the VVTi, newer technology is coming out where you get more power on the low end. So it's technology, right? So the way you can tell, right, if it's VVTi or non-VVTi, you can tell by the bulge right here. on the right hand side right there.
Oh.
That's how you can tell. So non-VVTi doesn't have this bulge at all.
So I see something right here. Can you kind of like explain what's going on right here in the battery section?
Cool. All right, so this is my favorite mod. I actually put this mod for all of my cars. All right, I travel a lot and I'm not always around my car. Sometimes I don't get to drive the car for like 3 months at a time or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
What I did was I put this lever on right here, right? So this lever right here, you could pull this off right here and then it shuts off power to the whole car. All right, so you know how project cars, right? You got a whole bunch of wires everywhere, you know, you got different connection, or maybe you just don't get to use the car pretty often. So what you do is you put this lever on so you can turn it off, and then so that it disconnects the power from everything, right? So I've gone 6 months, 8 months,
wow. Come
back, reconnect it, and the car starts up right away. I don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on batteries or any of that stuff anymore. So after I got that, it's definitely worth it. It's only like about 12 to 15 bucks on Amazon.
Ooh.
So check it out. Maybe he can drop a link to it and so you guys can check that out. So, yeah,
I will do.
All right, so a little bit about the pros and cons for this car, right? So this car, I do love it because of the heritage, the background. Everybody knows it, and you know, everybody gives it a lot of love. I do love that part, right? The drivability of this thing is when you're on the highway or when you're doing pools and stuff, it's fantastic. I enjoy it. You know, the power on it, it's pretty good. The thing that I don't like about it, you know, the cons and everything, is that whenever I go up into Azusa and hitting up the corners and everything, it has a lot of body roll. I know some of you guys are gonna say maybe it's your suspension, you need to tune it specifically for the corners and everything. Coming from an MR2, which is my favorite car out of all the cars, right? The MR2 handles way better on the corners and in the turns and everything. And that's my I think only gripe that I really have about this car.
Why don't we talk about all the cars that you've owned and then maybe even some future cars you plan on getting in the future? Okay,
so the MR2 has always been near and dear to my heart. When I was young, I was in, you know, middle school and everything, way back in the early 90s and everything, right? I'm an old guy now. So the MR2 has always been my favorite. The sleek, it looks like a wedge design, and if you compare it to cars nowadays, it's still timeless. It still looks like a really nice car, you know, the 90s model. They call it SW20 or the second generation MR2 and stuff. It's something that always caught my attention. The MR2 that I have now is my 6th one. I kept upgrading, getting newer ones, newer trim, different models where, you know, before it was like a non-turbo, now it's turbo. And then I got rid of the US one and got the Japanese one. So now it's a 94 turbo, and it's a blast. So I got that car and everything. But let's talk about the different cars that I've come across, right? When I was in Japan, I bought an R32 GTR. That was a lot of fun. I actually sold that one. I had a Supra back in 2005. I bought that one. This is gonna be crazy, right? It's a twin turbo, left-hand drive, US market, right? It has a Targa top and you know, V160 Getrag transmission and everything. The price I paid for it, you're gonna blow your mind. $20,000 back in 2005. So God. That was a pretty good deal. It's still in the family. I don't have it now, but it's still in the family. I progressed and grabbed an R35 GTR. Then after that is when I got this one. And then when my birthday came along, I decided to get an NSX. So I got one of those. And then a couple years ago, I bought the R34. And the R34 is a pretty crazy one. Maybe we can do a little interview on that one on a separate note. But that was that one's a fun one. So I think that's what caught your attention, right?
It did.
Okay, we'll do a specific one just for that one. But that's where I've been. You know, I have all these different platforms and everything. I've always wanted to get legendary vehicle from each company that's out there. So I'm working on it. You know, you guys are trying to convince me to get an FD rotary, but I don't know. We'll see what's up with that. So yeah, it's been a good journey.